Hello everyone, welcome back to Center Stand Mechanics. My name is Kyle. Today we're going to address this issue with the spark plug hole. You might have seen in my previous video, I went ahead and I started this engine. It was blowing exhaust out this insert. I had the spark plug hole strip and we put this insert in and it failed. So now I'm going to take the engine back out of the frame and probably put a different head on it. I think that's the plan. I've already got a head off the parts engine right here. I did a leak down test. I put the plugs in, filled it up with fluid up to the top. I used kerosene. This side here seemed to leak down fairly quickly, so it obviously needs a valve grind or a lapping or whatever. It needs the valves redone on it. I have another parts engine, and I think I'm going to take the head off of it, do the same thing, and see if that one needs any work, and maybe just quickly put that one on the engine, and then we can continue on. That's the plan anyways. But for now, I gotta get this engine out. I've taken some of the stuff off. I've taken the carbs off, took the exhaust pipes off. They're just sitting on the wall there. Taking these engine mounts off. There's not much left to do. I've got an engine mount right here, and I got another one underneath, and then the engine will be free, and I'll be able to lift it out of there, and then I can move on to taking the head off and stuff. I've got the oil draining out right now. It's been draining out overnight. I'm just going to put the drain plugs back in, and I'll fix this little problem. Hopefully it won't set us back too long. Alright, so let's get started. Yeah, so before I get started here, I want to get these drain plugs back in. One goes in here. One goes in here. It'll just stop it from dripping oil everywhere. When I start moving it around, a little bit of oil will come out here and there. So best to just put these back in for now. Just tighten them up a little bit there. There we go. Have a look at how dark that oil is already. Put new oil in this engine, and I probably ran this engine for not even a total of 5 minutes. And look how dark that is already. There's all kinds of crap in there too. Huh. That's crazy, eh? Yeah. Smells like gas too a little bit. Yeah, I had a hunch that it was over fueling. And I think that's where a lot of that smoke was coming from. And it drained the fuel bottle out when I ran it there for that 5 minutes. So, I mean, it makes sense. Yeah. Anyways, moving on. I've just got this little lead here to take off. I think that's the last of the wiring to come apart. I've already taken the starter wire off. I've unhooked this multi-pin connector that comes out of the alternator. also unhooked the points wire here too. And yeah, so we're moving right along. So basically I think I just have the two engine mounts on the bottom here, and I think this engine will come out. Just gonna take the Kickstarter off. Take this engine bolt out. Last remaining engine bolt coming out now. This is where I get my jack. Put the jack under it, just to take up some of the weight and get that last bolt out. I'll just set the engine gently down on the frame so I can get this jack out, and then I'll lift it out onto the floor. There we go. There. Then I'll lift this out, get it onto the floor. And I think everything's unhooked. It needs to be. So I'll give it a lift and put it on the edge of the frame on this side, and then next it'll come out. Alright, there we go. Wasn't so bad. Oh man, good times. It's a labor of love, right? Okay, so I'm gonna get the bike pushed back to the wall. I'm gonna set up my engine stand again and get this up on the stand, and then we can start tearing into it. All right. I've got the top of the engine stand here. I'm just going to bolt the engine to this part of the mount of the engine stand, and then I'm going to, I don't know, figure out a way to get it up in there. Let's think of something. Just bolt this tight, and then we should be good to go. So there it is. Let's on the stand again. Alright. So I'm going to start taking this apart. Because there's no time like the present. Let's get to it, eh? Okay, let's start taking stuff off and get this engine stripped down. here's the head that came off the Ultimate Zombie Apocalypse bike. If you look down in here, you can see the insert that was leaking, and then over here is the regular spark plug holes, and you got the valves looking all shiny because we did a nice valve lap on there. And then this is the head that I took off one of the parts bikes, and I did a little bit of a leak down test. This side is leaking down a little bit quicker than this side, so this one needs to be ground. Other than that, it's a good head with good spark plug holes. And then this one is off a different engine, and it's a little more zombified. It has all kinds of weird build-up stuff going on inside there, and I kind of want to see if I can, you know, clean this up with a wire wheel a bit and do a leak down test and see what they're see how the valves are sealing on this one. Probably, I'm guessing not better than this head over here, but it's worth a try anyways. I'd like to use this one on the zombie engine and then save this one for a future rebuild because it's in, you know, pretty good shape actually, and compared to this one or this one. So, and I have one more head that's still on an engine in the other parts bike, but I'm kind of leaving that one for now. And I want to see if I can get one of these to work. All right, so next thing I want to do is just, yeah, grind this out and see what how it turns out. Okay, let's get to it. Okay, I'm just doing this outside because I didn't want to get all the junk everywhere inside my shop. Just finally cleaned the floor, and I got all kinds of parts laying around in there. Just gonna use the wire wheel first. Yeah, see if I can get these to come clean a little bit better than they are. So I got some spray 9 here. There's definitely way better ways of doing this. Probably an ultrasonic cleaner would be by far a much better way, but I don't have one. So we got some hot water, spray 9, and good old elbow grease. Let's see if we can clean this up a little better. I'll let that soak for a bit. And yeah, that spray 9 does a pretty good job of getting in there and cleaning it. You got to scrub it a little bit, and it doesn't have to be perfect. It's a zombie bike, so this is a good test to seeing how you can do this on the cheap, you know, with stuff that you got. So yeah, we'll let that soak. I want to do the valve cover too, so I got another bucket like this, and I'm gonna go and get that set up now too. So I've got the valve cover here, and I don't have to clean this one up. It came with that head, and the valve cover I have that came off the engine is still good, but I'm just gonna clean it up anyways. We'll make a decision on what we're gonna use. So I put this in the water, you know, not even 5 minutes ago, and it's already starting to get all dirty. That stuff works pretty good. Not as good as an ultrasonic cleaner though, but that's okay. I just want to see if we can get it as clean as we can, and then we'll move on to we're going to do a leak down test just to see how tight the valves are on here, and if they seem like they're okay, I might just throw it on the engine and we can get it running. All right. There's just a little bit of lightly stuck on head gasket material on these cylinders right now. I'm just gonna lightly kind of brush it off. It's I only just put this gasket on like a week or two ago, so it hasn't really baked on there very long. So I'm just going to clean this off, and it gives me a chance to kind of talk about the direction I'm going to go with this engine. So I've been thinking about it, and a lot of questionable aspects to this engine. You know, I cut a lot of corners using old parts and things, and the transmission inside here, I've looked down there with the borescope, and there's quite a lot of rust and crap. I guess this engine sat in water, like when I drained the oil originally, there was a bunch of water came out, and then the oil was all gooped up, and you know, and I looked in there, and it's like, oh man, it was seized when I started working on it. Copious amounts of WD-40. I managed to start getting things to turn again, but they're still kind of tight, and you know, and I'm hopeful that things will start freeing up in there, but you never know. And it really needs to be torn down or just scrapped for parts. It's really not the best engine to be working with for a rebuild. And I have other engines that are in much better shape, don't have all the rust problems, and it'd be better to start from there. So I'm thinking, you know, which way do I go with it? Do I just keep going on? And you know, and there's the whole clutch scenario with this engine. I don't know if you've seen the previous video where I worked on the clutch. Like I was literally like belt sanding the steel plates and cleaning them up, and you know, stuff that you don't normally do. So there's all these, you know, questionable aspects to this engine. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of build this up with the not as good spare parts as I got better spare parts, and try to get this thing to run. You know, I'm optimistic that it, you know, we can get it running, and it'll probably run okay. I don't think I'd plan to go across country on this engine or anything like that, or very far. You know, probably don't want to leave town, so to speak, but that's okay. So what I was thinking I'm going to do is I'll get this engine running, you know, we'll put it back in the bike, we'll play with it a bit, but then I'll also gonna start a rebuild, a proper rebuild on another engine that's much better off to begin with, and then, you know, build it all up from, you know, I'll take it right apart, take the transmission apart, you know, split the cases, everything, and then build that engine up. And then when it comes time, because most likely this engine's there's gonna be problems with it down the road, then I'll just swap it out and put the good engine in. Yeah, I think that's you know, that's not a bad way to go. But I am curious to see if we can get this thing to work and operate, you know, see if see if we can make it a go of it. But yeah, so that's mostly cleaned off now. So now I'm going to figure out a way I can turn this engine upside down. I have an oil leak on the oil pan thing that holds the sump filter. It was dripping oil, just drip 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 when I had this thing full of oil. So I'm going to try to have a look at that. When I got that off, I'm gonna get the borescope out again and peer around in there and just have another look. See if we can fix that leak. And I gotta figure out a way to turn this upside down with that this cylinder head doesn't slide off. Not quite sure how to do that, but I'll bring you back when I got a plan, okay? Oh, look at this. That's new. Never seen that before. I don't think that was there before. It's like a weird chip out of the fin there. Ah. Oh well. Adds character, right? Okay. Alright, let's figure out a way to flip this over. So I think I'm just going to clamp this vice grips onto this stud here. And then flip it over, and hopefully this won't slide off when I have it upside down. Hopefully. Oh yeah, there's going to be a bunch of stuff roll out of here. I'll go get a pan. Had to get a oil drip pan underneath there because I think there might be some stuff come leaking out on me. Yep. Okay, so this thing was leaking around here somewhere. I'm not sure why. I don't know what I did wrong there, but I didn't want to over tighten these bolts, strip them out. So we'll just get this off and have a look in there, okay? There we go, it's stuck on there pretty good. But something didn't. Something didn't take. I had to clean that edge up. It had a bit of a chip in it. This little gasket scraper thing is pretty good. I found it somewhere. I can't even remember where I found it. It might even been in the house here when we moved in. I think years ago I came across it, and it works really good. I'm trying not to have any of this drop down in there. Just cause more problems. Oh, careful. That was a big piece. Yeah, the trick is to just get it right at the gasket surface and try to get underneath it without gouging up the aluminum. And most of you already know that, but There's a fine line. And this side over here where it was leaking. Somewhere over here. This is our sump filter that we patched up right here. And look how dirty it is, eh? That's one thing that makes me question this engine is I put brand new oil in it, and I ran it for 5 minutes, and I drained the oil and it's absolutely black. So there's a lot of nastiness inside this engine, and just don't think it's not what, like, without taking it completely apart and doing a full, you know, inspection and rebuild, and that I don't really see, you know, throwing money at it unless I was going to do that. So at this point it's just time, and we're just having fun with it, really. So if I can get it running and just sort of prove to you guys that, you know, you can get this stuff running just with the stuff you have on hand, I think that would be good. And then, yeah, we'll do a proper, we'll rebuild a different engine that's got better bones and get that ready. This one was just left out in the weather too long. Yeah, so you can see that this gasket is all kind of messed up. It already had a gasket on there, and I just kind of went over it with some RTV silicone, but obviously it did more than that. But that's okay. That's what happens when you Mickey Mouse around with this stuff. So I'm going to try to peel this rest of this gasket surface off. This one I can be a little more rougher with, because I'm not worried about it. Well, not rough, but like I'm worried about like the stuff coming off of it. I just don't have to worry about it going down inside the engine. Still don't want to cut your fingers. This chisel is pretty sharp right now. Almost got all the bulk of this off. I think we'll go over it with the wire wheel though. Alright, let's have a close look at this thing. So it was leaking on this end here somewhere. It doesn't appear to be warped at all, I don't think. You know, and it's got 6 bolts all the way around the perimeter, so I don't see why it wouldn't have equal distribution. It's fairly thick. Maybe just not sealed right. I've got the oil pan plate sump cover thing here, and I've cleaned up all the way around here. And it was leaking out of this end somehow. The only thing I can think of is it wasn't getting tight here. This bolt here, I was cleaning all the bolts and I could spin this thing all the way on except for this one, and it stops right there and I can't get it to go anymore. And I think what happened is it's stretched. The bolt has stretched itself and it's pulled apart, which changed the spacing on the threads. So like the pitch has changed, so when it gets to that point, it just stops there. And there's still another, 6 or 7 mil worth of threads to go, but it just gets stuck there. So I'm thinking this bolt can only get down so tight, and then it just wasn't holding. And so I'm just going to replace this bolt and hopefully don't have that problem. And yeah, so I've cleaned all the I've retapped all the holes. Same with on the engine here. I retapped all these holes, and so they're nice and clean. And then the bolts, I've cleaned these bolts all the way. I've run this thing. See, this one, it'll spin all the way on, right, and then all the way off. And that's how it's supposed to do it, right? But the other one, it stops, and there's nothing on the threads. It's just that the pitch has changed because it's stretched. So hopefully that is the problem and reason why it's leaking. Okay. So now I'm gonna cut another gasket. I got some leftover pizza box here, and I'm just gonna cut out another gasket on it, and yeah, and then we'll put that on. Okay, there it is. One more pizza box gasket. So that just goes on there like so, and should keep the oil in. Let's hope. But yeah, that should be good. I'll put some RTV around the edge of this and put it on when I'm ready here. Just having a look at the transmission gears, and I don't know if it's showing up on there too well. It's a little bit washed out with the light here. I'll try turning it down. But yeah, you can see them turning in there. They actually don't look too bad. I mean, there's a little bit of rust here and there, but it's all just like on the surface. And everything seems to be gliding around in there. I'm gonna try to get the shifter on. Okay, so there's first. Back in the neutral. There's second. There's third. There's fourth. Fifth, fourth, third, second, first, nuts first. Here's neutral. Yeah. Actually doesn't look too bad in there. I can get all the gears and you can see it shifting. And there is a little bit of rust here and there just on the tips of some of this stuff, but not too bad. I think a lot of that will clean out with a bit of running and some oil risen around in there, and some frequent oil changes will probably be in order for the first little while anyways. Who knows? This might actually work out. Cool. Just gonna take a bit of brake clean and just clean off this surface before I get the gasket maker on there. The same thing with this cover. Just want to get all the oil and stuff off of it. Get this all over the place here. I like this method because it gets it on both sides, and you can get it evenly. And you don't have a whole bunch extra oozing out. That's what it's supposed to look like without the pizza on the side of it. Yeah, then I was thinking put the bolts in, and then that'll help locate these holes, because they're not, you know, factory. Huh. So those are all pretty tight now. They're not very big bolts, so you could snap them off pretty easily. So I'm just trying to be careful not to over tighten them. But I want them tight. I don't want this to leak again. That was a real pain in the butt. Okay, now we'll put our drain plug back in. Just gonna clean both sides of it first. It's got this copper washer on it. Most likely these are, you know, probably want to replace these when you do this, but we're on a zombie budget, so I'm just gonna reuse it. And, you know, if it starts leaking, it's easy enough to change, so not the end of the world. Yeah, much easier to get this done when it's on the engine stand than when it's in the bike. It can be done, but it's a lot easier with it up in the air like this. So again, not crazy tight, just want to have it tight. Okay, I'm doing a leak down test to see if the valves are sealing on this head we've been cleaning up. You can see I've got some kerosene just filled up the top part of the head cavity here. And I'm just going to see how long it takes for it to leak down, and hopefully it doesn't leak down at all. But there's probably going to be some leakage, just depends on how much. So we'll come back in a little bit and we'll see if it's still up. Okay. So it's been about an hour. This leak down test is actually pretty good. It definitely run like that with that amount. It's leaked down a little bit, but not bad. But the only concern I was thinking about it is the valves. They might be stuck, and I'm not sure because it's obviously been sitting a really long time. So I'm going to take them out and clean them and maybe lap them a little bit and then put everything back together. So, but that was a good test. Maybe this one's leaking a little bit more than that one, but not bad. I've seen worse. Okay, let's get to it here. I'll take these plugs out now. I have them in there to hold back the kerosene that I poured into the top. If you look down inside there, it's pretty crusty looking. So I'm not sure if they're going to be stuck or not, or stick or hang up or whatever. So I'm just going to take them out, clean them, get them so they're moving in and out nice and smooth, and then we'll put them back in. Got this valve compressor set up. And I'm just gonna compress the spring and get out the keeper. Yeah, see, it's stuck. See, I should just put, oh, there we go, pushed out now. There. There's all kinds of crap on there. It appears to be fairly straight, but we'll know more when we go to spin it on the drill, clean it. The valves are out. If you look down in there, there's still quite a bit of corrosion. So I'm going to try to clean that out and get this ready to do a little bit of a lapping. These are kind of dirty too. I'm going to have to clean these up. Okay, so I've got this all cleaned out now. It's ready to lap the valves in. Just check and make sure that they're straight on the drill here. When you spin them, you can tell that they're straight. So that one's good. That one's good. Good. That one's good. Okay, so I'm going to clean those up a little bit and we'll bring you back. Yeah, these valves cleaned up pretty good. Here's an exhaust. And here's an intake. So definitely usable. Just got to lap them in. And that should be good. Okay. Okay guys, I finished lapping all the valves in. You can see the surface on these look pretty good. They got that nice gray look, and if you check out the valves, they're all looking pretty good. So that's what you want them to look like. What happened is I popped a couple of these valve stem seals off. They're only really meant to go on once. You're not really supposed to take them off because it shears off the little rubber keeper in there when you take them off again. So I didn't really know that before, but now I do. So what I've decided to do is I'm gonna order new ones of these. Get 4 of them. They're cheap. I think for 4 it's like $10 or $12, and kind of just gotta wait for them to come in the mail. And I'm gonna end the video there. Want to thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the next video. I'm gonna put the head on here and hopefully get this thing back in the bike soon and start it up, and hopefully not have any more problems. That's what we're hoping for here. Yeah, we'll see you again real soon. Center Stand Mechanics out.